Yes,
Grenoble, France, in French Alps.
in the French Alps?
Yeah.
At age 12, André Roussimoff towered over his classmates, unable to squeeze into school bus seats. By 20, his incredible strength allowed him to lift a car effortlessly, but as his body grew to mythic proportions, so did the toll on his health. This is the untold story of how a rare hormonal disorder transformed a French farm boy into a wrestling legend. We'll explore the medical mystery that made André the Giant both a marvel and a figure of physical struggle. From his early days in rural France to his iconic moments in the ring, discover how André's condition shaped his extraordinary life and wrestling career. In the rolling hills of Grenoble, France, a young André Roussimoff lived a life that seemed ordinary at first glance. Born in 1946 to Bulgarian and Polish immigrants, André spent his early years on his family's farm, tending to cattle and helping with daily chores. His childhood was simple, marked by the rhythms of rural life and the company of his 4 siblings. As André entered his teenage years, his body began to change dramatically. By age 12, he had grown to 6'3" and 208 pounds, towering over his brothers and sisters. His growth was relentless, outpacing his peers at an alarming rate. André's parents, Boris and Marianne, watched with a mixture of awe and concern as their son's body seemed to defy the laws of nature. André's unusual development brought physical and emotional challenges. He experienced debilitating headaches and joint pain that baffled local doctors. Simple tasks became increasingly difficult. André struggled to fit through doorways and chairs groaned under his weight. Even finding clothes that fit became a constant struggle. In school, André's size made him an outsider. Desks designed for average-sized students were comically small for him. Physical education classes became an exercise in awkwardness as he towered over his classmates. Despite his gentle nature, many of his peers kept their distance, intimidated by his imposing presence. The emotional toll on young André was significant. He often felt like a spectacle, a curiosity to be gawked at rather than a person to be known. His parents and siblings provided a loving support system, but they couldn't shield him from the world's reactions. As André approached his late teens, his growth showed no signs of slowing. By 17, he stood at 6'7" and weighed over 300 pounds. Boris and Marianne decided to seek specialized medical help in Paris, hoping for answers. In a Parisian hospital, André underwent extensive tests. The family endured anxious days filled with uncertainty and worry. Finally, a diagnosis emerged: acromegaly, a rare hormonal disorder causing excessive growth hormone production. The diagnosis was a turning point, explaining André's symptoms but raising concerns about his future health. As the family left Paris, they grappled with mixed emotions: relief at having answers, fear for André's future, and determination to face the challenges ahead. André, in particular, seemed to steel himself against the road ahead. His condition, once a source of confusion and isolation, became something he was determined to understand and overcome. Little did he know that his extraordinary size would soon lead him to a world where his differences would be celebrated, the larger-than-life realm of professional wrestling. The roar of the crowd filled the air as André Roussimoff ducked through the curtain, his massive frame dwarfing the ring. It was 1964, and the 18-year-old French giant was about to make his wrestling debut. As he faced his first opponent, André's mix of nerves and determination was palpable. This moment marked the beginning of a legendary career that would transform him from a medical oddity into a global icon. Just a year earlier, André's future had seemed uncertain. His acromegaly diagnosis loomed over him, with doctors predicting a limited life expectancy. But a chance encounter in a Parisian cafe changed everything. A local wrestling promoter spotted André and saw potential where others saw only an oddity. He approached the Roussimoff family with an intriguing proposition. What if André's size could be his ticket to stardom? The idea was radical and presented a moral dilemma for the family. Would this opportunity exploit André's condition or allow him to take control of his narrative? After careful consideration, André chose to step into the ring, answering a call to adventure that would carry him far beyond France's borders. André's introduction to professional wrestling was both exhilarating and daunting. The sport offered him a chance to harness his size, but it also exposed him to intense physical demands and public scrutiny. Wrestling promoters quickly recognized his marketing potential, billing him as the 8th wonder of the world. As André rose through the ranks, he faced numerous challenges. His size made basic wrestling moves difficult, forcing him to develop a unique style based on raw power and intimidation. His signature moves, like the body slam and elbow drop, showcased his incredible strength while minimizing strain on his weakest points. André's fame grew rapidly, but so did the hidden costs of living living as a giant. Travel became increasingly challenging. Hotel beds were too small, airplane seats impossibly cramped. Even simple tasks like finding clothes or using public restrooms became ordeals. Yet André faced these challenges with a mixture of humor and stoicism that endeared him to fans and colleagues alike. By the mid-1970s, André the Giant had become a household name, transcending the world of wrestling. His matches drew record crowds, and he appeared in TV shows and commercials. But as André stood at the pinnacle of his career, a sobering reality loomed. The very condition that had propelled him to stardom continued its relentless progression, threatening to cut short the reign of wrestling's most iconic giant. As André's star rose in the wrestling world, a hidden battle raged beneath the surface. The acromegaly that had shaped his extraordinary physique was now threatening to cut his career short. In 1973, medical experts delivered a grim prognosis. André likely had less than a decade to live. Yet he continued to step into the ring night after night, defying not only his opponents, but also the ticking clock of his own mortality. Pain became André's constant companion, an invisible adversary that no body slam could vanquish. His joints, strained by supporting his massive frame, ached with every movement. Simple tasks like walking upstairs or sitting in a chair became ordeals. The toll of André's condition manifested in ways invisible to his adoring fans. André's size posed significant risks to his health. His heart worked overtime to support his enormous body, facing additional strain from wrestling. Breathing difficulties plagued him, especially during matches, as his enlarged facial features constricted his airways. Performances that thrilled audiences left André gasping for air backstage. The psychological impact of living as a human marvel weighed heavily on André. While he embraced his larger-than-life persona in the ring, constant stares and whispers in public spaces wore him down. Hotels, restaurants, and airports became obstacle courses of awkward encounters and logistical challenges. André often found solace in alcohol, using it to numb both physical pain and emotional isolation. Dr. Michael Sampson, a sports medicine physician who studied André's case, explains, André's alcohol consumption was legendary, but it's crucial to understand it in the context of his medical condition. Alcohol likely served as both a pain management tool and a coping mechanism for the immense pressure he faced. André developed a sharp wit and self-deprecating humor to navigate his challenges. This humor endeared him to those who took the time to know him beyond his physical appearance. Jake the Snake Roberts, a fellow wrestler, once remarked, André had the body of a giant but the heart of a poet. He felt things deeply, and the isolation of his condition took a heavy toll. André's personal relationships suffered under the weight of his condition and demanding career. Romantic partnerships proved challenging, as potential partners struggled to see beyond his size or fame. Even friendships were tested by the practical limitations of André's lifestyle. As the 1980s dawned, André faced a critical juncture. His body was breaking down faster than ever, yet his popularity had never been higher. The wrestling world clamored for more of the gentle giant, even as medical professionals urged caution. André stood at a crossroads, torn between the adoration of millions and the harsh reality of his deteriorating health. As the 1980s dawned, André the Giant's colossal frame began to falter under its own weight. The once indomitable wrestler now moved with visible pain, his body betraying the toll of his condition and career. In 1982, André had a candid conversation with WWF promoter Vince McMahon that would alter the course of his career. Vince, I can't keep up this pace, André reportedly said. My body is failing me. We need to find a way for me to step back. McMahon, stunned by this admission from his star attraction, realized he needed to reimagine André's role in the WWF, Dr. James Andrews explains. André's acromegaly had progressed significantly. His heart and joints were under immense strain. Each match posed a serious health risk. Despite medical advice, André continued wrestling, driven by financial needs and loyalty to the industry. The WWF began choreographing his appearances to minimize physical exertion while maximizing dramatic impact. His matches became shorter, relying more on his intimidating presence than wrestling moves. Tim White, André's handler, recalls the behind-the-scenes efforts. We booked entire train cars for André because flying was too painful. Hotels removed furniture to accommodate his custom bed. It was a constant struggle to maintain the illusion of the invincible giant. The preparation for WrestleMania 3 in 1987 was particularly intense. André, barely able to walk, underwent extensive physical therapy and pain management treatments. A specially reinforced ring was constructed to withstand his weight. Backstage, a team of medical professionals stood ready to assist if needed. On the night of the event, André wore a back brace and received pain-blocking injections. Despite his agony, he delivered a performance that cemented his legacy. Roddy Piper later revealed, André knew this was his chance to pass the torch and secure his place in wrestling history. Following WrestleMania 3, André's in-ring appearances became increasingly rare. He transitioned into managerial roles, using his imposing presence to intimidate opponents without wrestling. His final WWF appearance in 1991 was a poignant moment. Though physically diminished, André's impact on the industry remained immense. Dr. Michael West, an endocrinologist, notes, André's survival to age 46 was remarkable given his condition. His size, while making him a star, ultimately hastened his decline. In his final interviews, André spoke with pride and wistfulness about his career, expressing gratitude for the life wrestling had given him while acknowledging its physical toll. His journey from invincible giant to mortal man had come full circle, leaving an indelible mark on professional wrestling history. André the Giant's legacy profoundly shapes the world beyond wrestling. His journey from a French farm to global stardom embodies human resilience. Despite Acromegaly's challenges, André became a wrestling legend, transforming his condition into strength. His story has significantly advanced acromegaly awareness. Dr. Lisa Martinez, an endocrinologist, notes, André's visibility has led to earlier diagnoses and improved treatments for many acromegaly patients. André's life reveals a man who faced immense physical and emotional hurdles with grace and humor. His ability to find joy despite adversity continues to inspire millions, reminding us that our greatest challenges can become our defining strength.